Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is No Self, No Self Capital, coming to you on a rather rainy evening here in the Southern Hemisphere. And you know what time this is. This is another rough and ready analysis, rough and ready crypto analysis, where we look at a few cryptocurrencies and discuss the possibilities into the future. It's been interesting, say a couple of last 2-3 weeks now. It's been quite interesting to see Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies trade sideways. I think the traders out there already know how they're going to be trading. It's best, in this current market, I think the best thing for you to do is to trade the liquidations and try and do your best from there. But anyway, that's just a kind of opinion. Let's get started. Right, we're going to start off with Bitcoin. And as you already know, I always like to have my smart money concept up, as well as my volume profile. Volume looks reasonable. As you can see, this area here, plenty of volume there. But we can see that, as I said before, we've got two areas of the smart money areas. These are buying areas here. This blue. Anytime you see blue like this is a buying area. If you see something like maroon like this, that's a selling area. So it's an area of demand, and people are buying here. And as you can see, roughly, if you take this line, let's take the horizontal ray here. And we can literally draw a line like that. And so you can literally see roughly. It's not perfect. I think we can even bring it down a little bit. Somewhere like that, yeah. So we're looking at about 91,824. More or less as the kind of area of support, which is roughly, if you look at it there, let's make it a little bit larger so you can see it. If you look at this area here, you can see the overlap between these two areas of demand. I mentioned a few days ago, I actually mentioned one of the trades I'm doing where I posited that Bitcoin could drop as low as about 88, 89, because I think the bottom of this area here is about 88,713 as the bottom of this area here. So I posited that, okay, it could come down to about 89. That if it comes down, I'll take a limit buy, and then I'll sell maybe something at 104, something like that. But we shall wait and see. I've got that position still open. I believe I discussed it with you in one of the previous videos. And so that's the way I see it. There is a danger. However, there's a bit of danger. If it breaks this 88 area here, look at this area here. It's almost like a C-like thing here. You find the price will fall very quickly where there's very low volume. It happens this other way around as well. If the prices were going up and there's a kind of area like this, you find the price just zoom through that area. So don't be surprised if Bitcoin falls below, say, 87 and comes all the way down to about 76. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at all. There's even a further danger. If it does break 76, don't be surprised if it comes all the way down to 69. But I can't see that happening. I think worst case scenario, ladies and gentlemen, worst case scenario is going to be about would be about 76. I think. I don't think it's going to fall any lower. If we very quickly let's put on the Ichimoku. One will see immediately that, okay, we've got the Kumo, the cloud. We've got that cloud at an angle, although there's a minute changeover to something more bearish here. If you look at this area here, and as you can see, it seems to start trying to kind of flatten out, which means that prices are trading sideways, which is what you see. They're already in the cloud. You can see the Kenjin above the Tenkan-sen. They're also in the cloud. So the cloud itself is also going to act as support and resistance in itself. The only advantage here is that we're inside a buying area here. So that's the kind of good thing where you could take a position. Now, one other thing here is that you can see that the Chiku span is almost caught up within the price action. Now, if it gets caught up within the price action, as I've said to you before, and I'll say it again, once the Chiku span gets caught up in the price action, that is from the bottom up, it means that acts as a kind of resistance, and therefore the price you don't get a rise in price. The Chiku span has to be running free to ensure that you get a more dynamic price and the price going upwards. So there's a lot of things at the moment. It's very weakly bullish, but all the indications here, as you can see, indicate a more bearish. That's why I said it's very weakly bullish. It's still very strong, but weak. It's quite weak. And that's a bit of an oxymoron. It's either it's strong or it's weak. But like I said, it's weakly bullish, but sort of more bearish tendencies, as we can see in this particular area here. It's going to be interesting to see. Actually, it's going to be fascinating to see the direction Bitcoin takes. But Bitcoin is going to be trading sideways for a little while. So I suggest that you keep an eye out on those areas I mentioned, particularly the areas of demand, and just watch how the price action behaves. I think it's a good opportunity to buy and make, stack. But if you're like me, I've already got my stack. So now I've got that bag, I've got my Bitcoin bag secured. So now I can just sort of speculate. I suspect that those other people are going to do. Okay, so let's look at, let's go back to that and use that instead. I've got several charts open. So let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum is a lot more interesting. Just for a moment, let's just hide the Ichimoku just for a bit. And as you can see, there's some lower highs and lower lows here already. Or rather, that's a sort of there's a breaking of character, change of character around here. This is sort of low. Yeah, it's a bit of a lower low, you can say, around this area here to this. There's a danger, as you can see, there's a little bit of open space here in the volume area. We've also got an area of demand here. So it won't surprise me to find Ethereum coming back here. It's almost guaranteed, looking at this chart, at this area here, it's almost guaranteed that we are looking at support at about $3,000, just over $3,000 here. Now, if it breaks $3,000, we also have a danger of coming all the way down to about 2,670. So we have that danger. Remember, like I said about the volume area here, you can see it's almost like another C here. Volume is sparse. Therefore, price action could easily fall through. So keep an eye out on that. Areas, buying opportunities are right here. Area of demand, something between, so we're looking at between 3,130 and 3,000, between 3,000 and 3,130. That's the area here, area of buying opportunity here. So if you need to get in, you can still get in and possibly make some profits. That's another thing. Again, I have in the past, like I said about Bitcoin, tried to secure the bag, and so now it's just purely speculation. I strongly recommend, with the uncertainty going around, people should try and secure the bag and not waste any time doing that. Excuse me. Let's just throw in our Ichimoku just very quickly. And this looks quite bad. The price action, you can see that the Kumo is acting almost like support in this area here to keep the price honest. In this particular, you can see this area here. Our Kanji Sen is above the Tenkan Sen, which is also indicating some bearish moves. Chiku span is down here, could easily get caught up within action from beneath, and if it does that from below, then I can assure you prices are not going to go anywhere. Therefore, you might want to look at this area more closely. That's this blue area here, the area of demand, and try and see what you can do and maybe take some positions there, both in terms of spot as well as speculation. So that's Ethereum. So let's have a look at Binance. Excuse me. Let's hide the Ichimoku for a moment and let's go to Binance. And Binance looks a bit, it's a bit more interesting. Nice upward movement here. And this area here, we can see, let's see if we can draw. something like that. I know it's a bit, drawing these lines can be a bit subjective, but just have a see. You can see that this is going a kind of upward trend. Price of Binance, there's an area of supply here, which means people are selling at this range here, and it's quite a large range, as we can see. So it's between 705 and 745. So people are getting to this area and then selling. I am making the assumption, I think, that probably long-term holders, if you've been a long-term holder and you've made over 50, 60, maybe 100-something%, yeah, and you have quite a bit, it could be a very good area to sell. I still suspect that the price is going to go up to something higher. Let's just throw on our, let's just do a quick Fibonacci to see. Interesting, it's just broken here between the 0.618 and almost getting to 0.5. So that's something to watch. But that means that there might be a danger of, if it breaks this area here, it's going to go down to about 659, maybe 640 if we're not careful. Or it might just come all the way down to the area of demand and become a buying opportunity for those who need to beef up their positions, both in spot and, of course, speculatively. Something to watch for. Right, let's throw on Ichimoku very quickly. And cloud trading sideways. Now look at that. Look at the Chico span. That's the screen. Remember, I keep telling you about the Chico span. It's caught up right inside the middle of the price action. That means price is not going anywhere. Expect Binance to continue to trade sideways. I would strongly recommend that everybody who wants to take a position should be patient. Even though the Tenkan-sen is above the Kijun-sen, everything is still within the cloud. And remember that when you trade using your Ichimoku, you have to wait for the price action to come either above the cloud or below the cloud. In other words, both the price action as well as all the other side indicators, all the other indicators on Tenkan-sen, Kijun-sen, Chico-span, everything should be outside the cloud, above or below the cloud. And that will give you a definite direction in terms of your trading. I must admit that I don't generally use Ichimoku for my trading positions, but it does help in seeing what's really going on and, of course, explaining to people what things actually look like. So please watch out for that, and let's see how Binance continues to develop. Okay, let's throw on, let's look at Solana. Right, there's been a massive drop. As you can see here, these two maroon areas are areas of supply, which is where people are selling and possibly taking profits, or maybe there's even some fear in terms of the way the price of Solana has been recently. And as you can see here, volume is fairly, it's fairly okay. So I'm not expecting too dramatic a drop. You could say in this area here, there's a bit of a drop, because you can see, if you look at that looks almost like a Maribotsu. You could see the price action sort of coming down very quickly. So it's still far from both the area of supply as well as areas demand. It will be interesting to see where this goes. So let's throw on, just a minute before we do that, let's just use our Fibonacci just very quickly to see. Again, Fibonacci, if you look at it there, you can see it's broken through the 61.8. Whenever price breaks through that area, it becomes a little bit of a worrying sign about the further drop. It's come all the way down to about 0.236. Still quite far from the area of demand. So I don't think it's necessarily going to drop except something really dramatic happens. The volume here in our volume profile, it doesn't indicate a kind of sudden drop. So it's going to be interesting to see where eventually this leads. So if we take that off, let's put our Ichimoku. And as you can see, very good. The Ichimoku trend here is definitely bearish. The price action is under the cloud. Chiku span is under the cloud. Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen are also under the cloud. This tells you this is a bearish, definitely bearish. I've told you about the possibilities, as you can see, the Chiku span getting caught up within the price action. The price action then becomes like an area of resistance, and this ends up forcing the price downwards. Now, could it go back to about 175? Maybe it could. You know, look, you never know with the markets. You never know what could spook the markets. Remember, everything is emotional, not rational. And as you've heard, and I know many of you have heard 1 billion times, markets can stay irrational more than you can stay solvent. So please, watch very closely. There might be some buying opportunities at about anything under 180, maybe. Yeah, I think beneath 180 could be some buying opportunities to beef up your bags. And you could take some kind of very strong long positions for your speculative angle. So that's another thing to watch out for. So let's hide that for a moment. Let's go to SUI. Now, SUI has been one of those beautiful performers. Very strong. Very, very strong in terms of moving up and down. In terms of the price action, I beg your pardon for using moving up and down. In terms of price action, I beg your pardon. Very strong performance, stronger than everything else. Recent angles here, the price action is sort of falling a bit. It's gone all the way from about just over $5.30. It's come all the way down to about $4.80 at the moment. Price action, the volume profile, is not too bad. There's a few areas like this area here that could bring about a massive drop if it falls if it comes all the way down, if the price falls this far. I can't see the price coming down here, although buying SUI under $3 would be fantastic if you don't have a position. But let us point out here that there are two areas of demand. So people are buying at this area here, which is between, between about $3.90 and about $4.20 or so, almost $4.30. So that's an area of demand there. And we've got another area of demand here as well, which is about between $3.29 and about $3.50. The chance of it coming all the way down, I'm not quite sure. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to drop that far. But if you can get SUI at under $3, that would be just absolutely fantastic. I would also recommend that, although I'm no financial advisor, so I can't tell you what to do your own research, but in recent times I've been looking very closely at the areas of liquidation. So I suggest you look at your liquidation heat maps and see how you can speculate. Okay, so let's just throw on the Fibonacci just briefly. Let's just see roughly where we are. Okay, so you can see 61.8 is here at the bottom of this area of demand. 50% is also at the top of the second area of demand. There's confluence here and confluence to a lesser extent here, but still plenty of confluence between these two. So I think the most extreme that we're looking at is SUI 340, if there's any major drop, but I can't see the price action and it's in this market, its strength in the market is just too high. I can't see it falling that far. Something dramatic really has to happen in the market for it to fall that far. Right, let's have a look at the Ichimoku. Let's put that on just to see. Look at that. Look at the cloud in a nice angle. Beautiful angle there. You've got your area of demand here. You've got your Tenkan-sen above your Kijun-sen. Excuse me. You've got from the top, remember what I said about the Chiku span coming from the bottom. This is coming from the top. This means that the top acts almost like an area of support, which ensures that the price doesn't fall. It keeps the price more or less roughly at a particular area of where it's trading at. So don't be surprised if the price does not fall any further below maybe about 470, 460, 470, nothing more than that. And then it keeps trading sideways. So don't be surprised. But I don't think that this is quite strongly bullish. This is very bullish. And you might want to look at taking a position at about, let's say, 440. If you can get it, if it doesn't come all the way down to the area of demand. SUI looks beautiful. Beautiful chart. Again, one of the best performing, if not the best performing cryptocurrency in recent times. An opportunity to beef up your bags as well as beef up your speculative position. Something to put on your watch list to see how things happened, how things are going to happen down the road. So now that we're going to see, so let's go to WIF. Let's have a look at WIF very quickly. Excuse me. Oh, and WIF here, as you can see, is smack bang inside an area of demand. I told friends of mine about the possibilities of what could happen to WIF in terms of the position. Right, there isn't any volume, so we can't judge. We can't use the volume because it doesn't have any volume data. Let's have a look at this. Just a minute. Let me put this here. This is from Binance. I'm hoping that there's... Oh, yes. Thank God. There's some volume activity. I should have used this one. Okay. You've got a series of lower highs and lower lows, all coming down and nice in the area of demand. So I think for you SUI guys, beg your pardon, for you WIF guys. For you WIF guys, this is an opportunity for you to... beef up your positions. I think you can beef up your bag, and as you can see, this area here has been very good to WIF. You can see even as far back as September and August last year, you can see it comes into this area and it's gone back up and it's come back to this area again. So I think it's a very good opportunity for people to trade as well as beef up their bags, as I said before. Watch out for this area here, up here. As you can see, it's an area of supply. So some people might get in here very quickly and take profits at this area. So that might be something that you need to keep a close eye on. Let's see. Let's just take this position and see what we get. It's broken the zeros, so that's going to be interesting to see. Oh, look at that. Look at your 0.5 and your 61.8. Look at that, sitting smack bang in this area. So this area is going to be very, very important. So don't be surprised that you buy in this area here, price goes up, but goes to this range here and then sells. Don't be surprised. Be vigilant. As I said, beef up your bags, beef up your speculative position if you can. Let's conclude on this one. Let's just have a look at Ichimoku. And this tells you everything you need to know. This is seriously bearish. Everything's under the cloud. Cloud is even at a reclined angle. Look at the angle of the cloud. That tells you it's all bearish. Look at that. Kinji-sen above the Tenkan-sen. And look at the Chiku-sen. Chiku-span running free. Therefore, don't be surprised. If it breaks this area, you could go even further. If it breaks this area, don't be surprised it comes out of this area of demand and falls even further. You shouldn't be surprised that happens. Again, put on your watch list. And let's see what happens. Now, finally, friends of mine who I'm not in. This is one. I'm just going to add MOODENG. Now, I don't trade MOODENG, but several of my friends do, and they asked me, I think, sometime last week to take a look at it. And as you can see, a massive area of supply here, another area of supply. A bunch of lower highs and lower lows there. Prices come all the way down. I posted to a friend of mine last week that don't be surprised that if this price breaks this area here, it breaks about 18. Don't be surprised it comes all the way down to about 15, 16. Don't be surprised at all. If it breaks this area, let's show you. If it breaks this area here, which is about 13, then there's a danger of it falling all the way down to 8, which is the area of point of control, which is where the largest amount of trading and buying and selling now taking place with this particular instrument. So it's something to watch out for if you are into MOODENG. I'm not into MOODENG, but like I said, friends of mine have wanted me to take a look at it. Let's just do a quick. We pretty much have our answer. It's broken 0.5, it's broken 0.236. There's a danger. It keeps coming to this area. There's a danger if it breaks this area here. Let's do that. If it breaks 18, then don't be surprised if it comes all the way down to 16. So be very, very vigilant. I know some of you have bought at about 50 something and it's dropped. And I know everybody was talking about what MOODENG was going to do. The one thing that I would say to everybody is that there is a danger. Or it's already, I don't think it's a danger, it's already started. That the speculators have now moved away from the meme coins and to the AI coins or the AI agents. There's some very interesting ones to look at. I think maybe I'll make a video on AI agents so people can have a look at and see what we could possibly speculate on. And I could talk about some of the new instruments that can help you on that journey. I think I should do that video maybe in the next week or two. And I think you're going to find it fascinating. Okay, let's remove that. Let's open up our Ichimoku and let's see what Ichimoku looks like. And that tells you everything you need to know. Look at that. Cloud already at an angle. Kinji-sen is already above the Tenkan-sen. Chiku span running free. So don't be surprised. I will not be surprised in the slightest if MOODENG falls even further, all the way down to even 13. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. There's a possibility of that. There's a big possibility that this could happen. So if you're trading this, or if you've taken a position much higher, you're going to have to be very, very patient before you start seeing anything coming back. Okay, now, I call this crypto analysis, but I'm going to throw in one more instrument, and this is going to be a stock, which is the MicroStrategy. Lord knows, ladies and gentlemen, Lord knows that there's so much said about this particular stock that it's almost a cryptocurrency in itself, in that it follows Bitcoin very closely. And we all know the CEO, Michael Saylor. We all know what he's doing and how he's been buying. And you've been getting a lot of, I'm sure many of you have seen in your YouTube feeds, your Twitter feeds and everything else, you are seeing situations whereby people are saying, is this a Ponzi scheme? How long can this go on? And everything. Now, I am not 100% sure about what he's doing. But if you really want to know, I'm going to talk about another YouTube channel. You have to go to Invest Answers, James. Excuse me. He's one of the biggest MicroStrategy supporters. And he's done a lot of work on it. So he knows better, far more than I do. But I also look at this stock because I also speculate on this stock. Let's see. Recently, I took a position. I did a limit buy at this area here at about 280, somewhere there. Now you can see this area here. You can see this area here. You can see that. So I thought the price might just fall through, which it did once it broke this area here, but it didn't come all the way down to 280. It got to about 285 and then started going back up. But I've kept this position open just in case it falls all the way. There's also another position here that you might even this area here at about 260. 260 is also an area that one should consider. So try and consider it about $260. Again, purely speculative. I have no stock. It's just pure speculative. I'm going to sort of get in at about 260, between 260 and 280, to sell at about 440, something like that, or even more. So that's my idea there. Let's just put the Ichimoku on very quickly to see what we're looking at. As you can see, the price action has come through the cloud. The Tenkan-sen is also below the cloud now. And Kinji-sen is still above the Tenkan-sen, which tells you it's bearish. And even though the Chiku is still above the cloud, it's quite weak, pointing downwards, and only God knows where this could eventually head to, as if the price keeps falling. Again, there's a danger that you're not out of the woods yet, as you can see. There's a limited side, you could say there's some side trading here as well. So if you are trading this, keep an eye out. Again, this is a stock, it's not a cryptocurrency, but I thought I should just throw it in there for everybody to see. We're not going to talk too much about that. Do your due diligence on it. MicroStrategy. Now, you may have heard of Soul Strategies with the symbol HODL. They have taken the MicroStrategy strategy of using Bitcoin, and they're doing that on Solana. So it begs the question, what happens if there is a supply constraints in Bitcoin? Are people going to switch over to Solana and start, hoarding Solana? It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I'd like to see how it will play out. It's going to be a nice exercise. Oh, HODL. Let's see. Oh, I think I've got a HODL here. This is it. Oh, I forgot. There we go. Let's have a quick look at that. Soul Strategies. Oh, look at that. This is definitely a bullish. Look at the Chico span. Look at how free that is. Look at your Tenkan-sen above your Kijun-sen. Look at the cloud. It's an angle. There's a nice fat area of demand. And look at that. Look at that Maribotsu. Or almost Maribotsu. Look at that. Look at that cloud. I mean, that candle. Wow. That's going to be quite... I'm sure guys who bought at that area is going to be good. And I couldn't get in. I wanted to get into around 20 cents when I found out what it was. And since I have no access to the Canadian, it's a Canadian company, I don't have access to the Canadian market, I couldn't trade it. But anyway, I think that's enough of me. I think I've taken up much of your time. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good week. And as always, keep your eyes and ears open and you're trading sharp. Have a good one. Bye.